Well, we're in Greensboro now. Let's get going. Our first match is the World Television title. It's Mike Rotundo, who's our champ, with the Games Master, Kevin Sullivan, and he's taking on gorgeous Jimmy Garvin with Precious in an amateur rules match. Our referee for this match is the new WWE Hall of Famer, Teddy Long. Of course, Kevin Sullivan would go on to become a critical part of WCW's booking committee, and Garvin actually went in the Hall of Fame last year as a free bird. Meanwhile, Mike Rotundo is an agent with the WWE now, and his son, Bray Wyatt, is their world champion. Briefly explain, Tony, to our younger listeners, what the hell is the Varsity Club?
Well, you've never been in the Varsity Club? I was in the Varsity Club at Buffalo Gap High School. Varsity Club was always legitimately a letterman's club, where anybody that lettered in a sport in their high school, or maybe in their, I know there was a varsity club in my high school. Anybody lettered in the sport would become a part of the varsity club, and there would be an initiation. So you would have a school background, and Rick Steiner was from Michigan, Rotundo was from Syracuse, and then later on, Dr. Death Steve Williams being from Oklahoma. So it would be guys who we talked about having a strong amateur wrestling background, who had lettered in their sport and wore the letter jackets to the ring. So they were members of the Varsity Club. And at a lot of schools, even more as you moved into the future, but at schools, the Varsity Club had a lot of heat because they were seen as the elite
jocks.
The elite jocks who got the cheerleaders and were cool where everyone else wasn't. So that's what the Varsity Club was about.
And, of course, Kevin Sullivan would become the taskmaster and the leader of the Dungeon of Doom for WCW, but we're still in 1988. So, Tony, what the hell is a Games Master?
The Games Master, I remember talking to Kevin about this. I think he drew this, and I never did play it. I think he drew this from Dungeons and Dragons. The person that was in charge of the game. Did you ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that Games Master was a reference to that.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And whether it was accurate or not, I don't know. But that's what he viewed himself, the guy who was in charge of it. And he thought that by calling himself the Games Master, that he would have a connect with the nerds that played Dungeons and Dragons, the pre-Conrad Thompson kids.
You got to check this out in your Google machine. Apparently, the Games Master became a television show from 92 to 98. I wish I hadn't seen that. The storyline here is that Kevin Sullivan is trying to capture the affections of Garvin's valet, Precious, and this continues through the Great American Bash.